Good evening, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to Talking Point. My name is Faraz, but I would like to thank you, the viewer, for staying with us here on Hilaal TV, DSTV channel 347. Now, this week, of course, we've been theming it, women in politics, and for Talking Point today, we're going to be having that same theme, but women that have taken roles from an ambassadorial level. Later on, I'll be speaking to the Turkish ambassador to South Africa. But for the first two segments, I'd like to welcome, and she's no stranger to us here at Hilaal TV, it's Ambassador Hanan Jarrar, who's of course the Palestinian ambassador to South Africa, and she's held this position for quite a significant amount of time, and she joins me in studio. Ambassador, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and shukran so much for joining us.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. No, thank you for hosting me. Always Hilaal TV is on top of the news, especially when it comes to Palestine. Thank you.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Ambassador, you've had this role for quite a significant amount of time. I mean, when we talk of women in ambassador roles, it's very rare. As of last year, women have only held up to 23.4% of all ambassadorial and permanent representative from a global position. So it's really an important position. Talk to us about it. How important is this position for you?
First of all, before talking about the importance of the role that I'm holding right now, especially in light of what's happening back home, the genocidal war that our people are facing nowadays in Gaza and West Bank, and in all the dynamics of the Palestinians' presence, I would love to highlight the fact that I'm really privileged and honored as a Palestinian ambassador to be serving in a country like South Africa in these dark times for Palestine. This country that has a lot of respect and for human rights and for humans in general. The South African president, South African political parties, South African government, and the normal South African people are always showing their unwavering solidarity and support with the Palestinian people, and this is really put me in a privileged position here in South Africa. So from Hilaal TV and from me personally, from the people of Palestine, thank you for each and every one of you for your unwavering support. If I highlight the fact that it's true, the numbers of women holding high-profile positions or like decision-making, or women in decision-making positions, it's rare, despite the fact that in South Africa we find like almost half of the high-profile positions occupied by women, and also there is a big representation of women overheading like diplomatic missions here in South Africa. I don't find myself like a stranger in this environment, as mainly a lot of women, like I'm the dean of the Women in Diplomatic Corps here in South Africa. You mentioned it because I have been here I'm finishing my 5 years here. So we are about 35 women ambassadors and head of missions here in South Africa. For Palestine, this is also something, I wouldn't say rare, but I would say extraordinary, not that much. Out of 110 Palestinian embassies and representative offices, we are around 11 women ambassadors. So it's, it's a double-edged sword, because it's a high representation at one level, but at the same time, it's a high responsibility, because whatever you do is a mirror that reflects your country, reflects the image of the Palestinian women, reflects the struggle of Palestinian women, the resilience of Palestinian women, and this is like a big responsibility on my shoulders as a Palestinian ambassador here. And even it's a double responsibility here in South Africa, because I'm surrounded by, I would say, giants of...
One of them I want to bring in, Naledi Pandor, Dr. Naledi Pandor. You've got such a close relationship with her. When we speak of women giants that are still alive today, she comes up as one of those.
Definitely.
What have you learned from her that as a Palestinian, given her role in, of course, leading the ICJ case against Israel?
I would say that Minister Bandor is a landmark, not because I served in her term when she was a Minister of Foreign Affairs here in South Africa, but she's a landmark in the foreign policy of South Africa in general, because with her and beyond, South African foreign policy is shaped more towards standing for defending and becoming the champions in defending human rights. On the personal level, I have a very special relationship with her. She's my mentor, I would say. I learned a lot from her, from her eloquence, from her way to deal with things, always quiet, always thinking of others. Always she was mentioning that it's not only Palestinian women, it's not only Palestinians, it's people under aggression, people under oppression, people under apartheid regimes or military occupations all over the world. She was always mentioning women in Sudan, women in Afghanistan, women in all places that there are crises. Sure. I learned a lot from her, and it was, by the way, we visited her only a couple of days ago when we have a high-profile delegation from Palestine. Comrade Jibril Rajoub was with her. We visited her. We were honored to be received by her in her house in Cape Town. And before Minister Naledi Pandor also, I have a good relation with many, as I mentioned, giant women here in South Africa. Like, for example, Jessie Duarte. She was...
the late Jessie Duarte,
the late, yes. Jessie Duarte. May her soul rest in peace. Also, she was the first woman to receive me when she was the Secretary General of the ANC. Even before I presented the credentials to President Ramaphosa, she was my mentor. And I really was deeply touched and affected by her absence from the political scene in general. Also, Dr. Dlamini Zuma, Nomvula Mokunyane. I don't want to mention everyone so that I forget someone, but every day in South Africa, I am impressed by the strong presence, representation and dedication that these women have for life in general. I mean.
You know, Ambassador, being the Palestine Ambassador, I think you receive so much warmth from South Africans. I mean, it's something you probably will not see in other countries, and this is, of course, what makes South Africa such a unique one. When you're around the women here in South Africa, whether it's from the smaller communities to the bigger ones here, how would you see women's growth within South Africa in all spheres, especially within the political part of the country?
I find it amazing. Really, they say that it retrograde. Those who were in struggle and in defending the South Africans during the apartheid time, they say or they mention that the role of women is retrograding for many reasons, for different reasons. Of course, every country has its own path of independence, its own path of after independence, and in governance in general. But for me, wow, I find it like amazing. The growth is amazing, the representation is amazing, the strength, as I mentioned, the dedication in affecting the South African foreign policy and the South African internal policies also. Women are very decisive. I am always surrounded by South African women, especially and I salute them, Women's League of the ANC and of other political parties. They are always there, present, strong, defending the rights. In general, we can say that women, when they want to govern or when they are in decision-making positions, they look more in a comprehensive way. Maybe because of the instinct of motherhood or women. Women are always more details-oriented, so they look at the picture from a bigger perspective. And this is maybe what, and also women has some margin to become emotional. Like, for example, sometimes in these dark times for Palestine, my people are under a genocidal war. Whenever I'm on media, it's okay for everyone to see me crying.
Of course, yeah.
And this is maybe what makes it different and distinctive to be a woman holding a diplomatic position, because there is a margin always to show your emotions. While it's not acceptable to see a man, or it's not preferable, I would say, to see a man crying, even if we are on the same level or the same positions and representing the same cause. So it's good, like these small details, it gives you like an added value to become in this domain and to serve in
Ambassador, I have
areas.
to stop you there because we have to go to a break. After the break, I continue my conversation with Ambassador Hanan Jarrar, the Palestine Ambassador to South Africa. We are honoring women within the global political perspective. Do stay tuned. Welcome back to Talking About. I'm still in conversation with Hanan Jarrar, the Palestine Ambassador to South Africa. Ambassador, we have to speak about Gaza. You know, I was sitting with my mother and we were watching Al Jazeera, and there was this elderly lady searching for food. And I know both you and I are watching these visuals where they have to walk kilometers to get aid, and they do not know whether they're going to return to their families. You spoke about the emotional aspect when you speak of Gaza, when you speak of your homeland. As a mother, Ambassador, you cannot but shed that tear, have that emotion when you're seeing what the women and the girls are going through in Gaza at this moment.
First of all, I would love to say that, believe me, it is beyond heartbreaking to see your people hungry and you have nothing to offer them but your voice. This is the only thing that me as an ambassador, as Hanan Jarrar, as a human being, this is the only thing that I can offer them, is my voice. From my position as a representative for Palestine, I'm their voice. I'm representative on them. But it's like the feeling of helplessness and the sense of powerlessness is devastating, I would say so. Every time I'm on media, and I'm always on media in South Africa, every time I have to go and to be asked about the situation, I start to cry. It's not because I'm fragile, but because it's like...
It's a mother's natural instinct, isn't it?
Exactly.
Because my mother herself has that emotion because she sees another mother suffering. And it's just an instinct of a mother to feel that.
As a mother, as a human being, as a representative of her country, of her people, it all comes together to express what we feel. And from what we have been witnessing for the past almost 2 years, since October, we can see that what's happening now is a systematic engineered starvation, a systematic engineered extermination of a whole nation of the people in Gaza. The main targets are women and children. This means that Israelis are not murdering people just because they like. No, it's a systematic approach to destroy a whole nation. Out of 60,000 people who has been murdered, 65% are women and children. And this means that the Israelis are targeting the present, which are women who can give birth and life to Palestinians, and the future, because if you want to invest in the future, you invest in the youngsters. So they are targeting children, the future of of Palestine, and they are targeting the present, which are the women who give life, fertility to the Palestinian people. And when you think about this, and when you think about what's going on in the world, did people lose their humanity? I mean, you don't have to belong to a certain religion or to a certain nation or to a certain sect to condemn what's going on and to stand with the people oppressed. Only you have to be a human being, because like even me myself, if I saw what I'm seeing in Gaza in a different place on earth, on this planet, I would stand with people under aggression. I would stand with people under oppression, people under genocide, people witnessing starvation, an engineered starvation, a man-made starvation. Like, my goodness, what's going on is really beyond heartbreaking. Sometimes I believe that there is, even the words are failing us, because like the words has no meaning. What does it mean to talk about starvation while people are really dying because they don't find food? Why? Because the Israelis are blocking Gaza. They are not allowing anything to go inside. Recently, they just start to allow...
but that's very little also.
Very little, because 600 trucks are allowed to come daily. And to give food for the hungry people, you
need 1,500 around about, yes.
Every day. So I don't know what's happened to the universe, I mean, to the world.
You know, Ambassador, sorry for cutting you there. There was an old woman, and passionately she spoke in Arabic, and she said, "We don't want your words. Words are finished. We want action." Elderly woman again. And I just look at the elderly woman, and they still have that spirit, but you can see they're defeated because there's just nothing happening from the international world. And this coming from someone who's a mother, who even is a grandmother, that speaks a lot, doesn't it?
Of course. Whenever I see people like this, I remember my mother and my father. They are in their 70s. And I remember, like, you know, more than 1.9 million Palestinians in Gaza have been displaced from their homes several times. Some of them even more than 10 times. So I imagine, I portray my parents. They are old and tired, and they have to move from their place one time after another. Like, my goodness, what kind of dehumanization is this?
And the occupied West Bank is the same also. Were you from Jenin,
yes,
Nablus, many other places? Yeah.
What's happening in occupied West Bank is something a bit more like drastic, because it happens silently. And it didn't start only like these days because of the media has highlighted it. It has been ongoing process of aggression, daily dehumanization. You know, and also there is a systematic campaign against Palestinian refugee camps in West Bank.
Yes.
For example, in Jenin, the whole refugee camp of Jenin has been destroyed, evacuated. Yes. And this is also has a political meaning, that the Israelis, they don't want only to physically evacuate the refugee camps. They want to destroy this kind of what we call political geography. Because this refugee camp has also very symbolic meanings for Palestinians. It is the place where Palestinians who have been uprooted from their homeland in the lands of Palestine 1948 and live in these places, and until now they refuse to live in other dynamics because they want to return, you know, they want to return back to their homelands, and they are holding and preserving their right to return as was guaranteed to them by the UN resolution on that time. So this goes hand in hand, line in line with what the Israeli government is trying to dismantle UNRWA, what US also is trying to dismantle and cut off all the funds to UNRWA, and the physical evacuation of Palestinians and destruction of this political geography, I would say. It all goes hand in hand. It is a systematic project and approach to dismantle the Palestinian cause and the right of refugees to return to their homelands.
Ambassador, I want to talk of Palestinian girls and women, and I'm going to bring 3 examples there. And I see a lot of this coming up on my social media on Instagram. There's this, she's a baby, I think she's about 2 or 3. Her name is Lean. She cooks, she makes these dishes. There's another, a young girl, she's around about 7 or 8. Her name is Renard. And then there's Hinkhudari. And the reason I'm mentioning these 3 different ages is because when I look at their spirit, I don't think I've ever seen a woman from a specific part in the world that are still undergoing genocide, and yet they have this great spirit about them. What is it about Palestinian women, as a Palestinian yourself, that still has this determination and spirit, longing of a homeland, despite the occupation and the genocide that is happening?
Well, these examples that you have mentioned, represent the power of Palestinians. We have been like this even before 1948, before the Israelis came and occupied Palestine. But at the same time, we have to be like this because we have no other choice. The other choice is to die. And this is what the Israelis want to see you dying, not existed. So for us, also at the same time, we should not believe that these women are heroes or heroines, because we are human beings at the end.
Your mothers, daughters,
exactly,
wives,
and we have the right to live a normal life, and we have the right to live like all other women around the world, just to have like the right to live. The right in life itself, the right to go to schools, the right to worship, the right in playing, These youngsters, they are losing their childhood. They are losing every aspect as a normal child or a normal human being. So I do believe that we are in these circumstances, and what options we are left with? Nothing. We have to survive. Resilience is an important aspect of Palestinian people. But at the same time, we don't want to be that much resilient like for the rest of our lives. We need to live a normal life. That's why all these stories about the courage of Palestinian women and girls, we glorify it. Definitely, because it's the power of Palestinians and it's our stories. But at the same time, we have to work to end this genocide, to put an end for this. We need our youngsters to live, and our women and our children to live in peace and dignity. Definitely, this is our request. That's why the first thing we ask for, we don't want to glorify people. We want to see people alive. We don't want to see people murdered, buried. No, our strength, what do you think is the strength of Palestinians? The strength of Palestinians is the people on the ground, the resilience of the people on the ground. That's why, this is what the Israelis are targeting, to see a land without people. No, we don't want to reach to this. We want to live a normal life. The equation is easy. Live and let others live.
Ambassador, I have to stop you there. Shukran so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we hope to have you again soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much for
That's Ambassador Hanan Jarrar, the Palestine Ambassador to South Africa. Our conversation continues because after the break, we're going to be bringing in the Ambassador of Turkey to South Africa, Nilvana Darama Yildirim Jek, who's going to be joining me to take this conversation forward in Women in Politics.